shift.
Yeah.
I learned how to drive a stick recently.
You did?
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Is that like a euphemism or?
No.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the latest possible episode of Dudes Watch a Movie podcast. I suppose it might not be the latest. I missed that 38 because we missed the 37 in a row joke. Possibly
37 dicks.
Yeah. Found out my girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?
How have we not done Clerks? Because we watch only like the best of American cinema, like this film here, Tokyo Drift, the third installment of the Fast and the Furious franchise. Also the best in the series, and I will fight it to the death.
I'd say debatable, but I also agree. So
Yeah.
some diehards might not agree.
What came
but
after this?
Chronologically or in real life?
Release-wise.
Just regular Fast and Furious, I believe.
Just Fast and Furious?
I believe so.
Not the Fast.
Because that's the first
Furious.
one, right? Because I believe
The
it's
Fast and Furious and Fast and Furious.
do you want me to just test it?
rattle them
Please.
off. Yeah.
The events in this film take place after.
Well,
the
no,
events.
not fuck the chronological.
Oh, not chronological. Oh, okay, well.
We'll get back to that. We just in real life time.
Okay, then I will have to Google that.
So
Give me
it's
a
the
second
Fast and
here.
the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, Tokyo Drift. I want to say Fast and the Furious, Fast 5, Fast and Furiouser. After 5, that's where they lose me.
When do they stop caring
boy.
about racing?
Fast and Furious.
So the next.
This is the
one
last.
after
This is the last one that
there's
has
10
racing in it.
films.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe that's why I actually like this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because it keeps to that formula of racing is the
Yeah.
cars and racing is the thing.
The weird oxymoron of this movie is it is the most Fast and the Furious, but also the least Fast and the Furious, just because of what came after it. Go ahead, Tom.
So there's 10 movies listed. It's The Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, The Turbocharged.
Yeah, that's it's like a short film to bridge.
Okay, and then there's Tokyo Drift, then Fast and Furious, and then Los Bandoleros.
Another like short.
I'd never
Yep.
heard of. Fast 5, Fast Furious 6, Furious 7, and The Fate of the Furious.
And it's Fate F8.
I like how Fast 5 is the 7th movie.
Yeah.
8
Well, there whatever list he's reading for some reason is counting the
Tie-ins.
Yeah, the small.
But if
little
it's not the tie-ins, then it's just The Fast and Furious, this Too Fast, Too Furious.
draw.
And then Tokyo Drift, then Fast and Furious, then Fast 5, then 6, 7, 8.
And 9 is due to come out.
I didn't even know that they had those little in-betweens. When did that...
I think they were just web release only. I don't, or maybe on the DVD. I don't know. I've never actually watched them.
I didn't even know that existed. I just know
You're not a
they
real
got the
fan.
people on there.
Why don't you go ahead and hit the fine folks with that synopsis?
Oh no,
Not
no!
that
Give
they
us,
need it,
give us
you
the tagline first.
No, okay, yeah. So let me
hit
give
it,
you
hit
the
us
deets.
with your stuff.
What is on this? Gross. So it's rated PG-13. Watch out, children, because of reckless and illegal behavior involving teens.
There's also a little like
But honestly, the teen was 24 when this was.
there's a little side cheek action in that movie too.
Violence, language,
Yeah.
and sexual content. Tagline.
Also, man titties.
So you
That's
guessed
true.
You guessed a tagline.
Is it really a guess that speed was involved?
Do you have a guess for what the tagline may be?
Speed.
Speed needs no translation.
Yeah, you remembered. You remembered. That's not your guess.
Oh wait, I get it.
You want a
'Cause he's in
fake
Japan.
a fake guess? I wonder if they know how they live in Tokyo.
It's not a song lyric, my friend.
No
Anyway,
one sleeps in Tokyo. It's from Initial D.
Okay, yeah. Never seen it.
I never seen it, but I played the game and I loved it. I'll go into that in a
The
second.
closest
Anyway.
I got is there's a Dark Souls mod where it's Drift Souls. You damage the monsters by drifting around them. And it
Okay.
just plays the theme song over and
Go
over.
Okay.
watch this.
It's amazing.
So the plot, for those unfortunate few who have not seen this movie, what is wrong with
Race
you?
to the theaters.
Got him. All right, a teenager, 24-year-old teenager, becomes a major competitor in the world of drift racing after moving in with his father in Tokyo to avoid a jail sentence in America. Because that's what we do in America. We just throw everybody in jail.
Yeah.
Thought it was a free country.
We have guns and we have prisons
That's all
for people without guns.
And beer.
And beer.
And so I also put in the box office deets they had is an $85 million budget estimated. Opening weekend, it only made 23,973 or 23 million. Wow.
Just say, that's a
they
huge
really
drop.
sucked. No, 23,973,840. And then gross total. As of September 7th, 2006, they went to 62 million, but a cumulative worldwide gross, 158 million.
Nice.
Easily made their money back.
Not exactly the smash hit they were expecting, but also it was the first movie without uncredited Vinny D's.
Was he in the second movie?
Shoot, you know what? He wasn't.
Yeah,
it was the first
just
movie.
the cop.
It was the first movie without Polly Walks.
Pollywogs. Rip.
Polly Wally did not do this all day.
Or
But they had
Tyler
Ludacris.
Cruz?
Tyrese?
Tyrese, is that his name?
Yeah,
I don't know.
the guy from the second one, the bald guy.
I might be thinking Tyler Cruz, tell how you feel. Is that who he's referring to?
It sounds like you're mixing Tyrese with Terry Crews, and it's driving me crazy.
It might be who I'm thinking of. Terry Crews.
How has Terry
No, the
Crews not made
song.
his way into this franchise
The
yet?
Ludacris song.
Too Fast, Too Furious,
Try.
Too Fast for y'all,
Man.
Is that maybe what I'm thinking of? I have no idea.
Does he
play it,
mention
but
his
we're
side
not
hairs
allowed to.
flapping like a fucking bird?
There's some line where he's like, "Tell her how you feel." It might be a different song I'm thinking of though.
Yeah, lost. 100% lost.
Unfortunately.
Oh well.
Tyrese shows up in the second one. I think his name is Tej.
Fucking not Vin Diesel.
Tej
The
might be
Rock
the
just
character.
lays down a slammer of a line.
Oh, when he shows up
I
about
can't remember what he said.
I don't know,
though.
something about his shiny forehead.
Always greased up.
Yeah.
He said something about his big ass forehead.
So good.
But yeah, no. I won't necessarily go into the cast, but I'll hit the main points. We have Lucas Black as Sean Boswell, a young man interested in street racing, and the protagonist of the
Young
film.
man. Yeah, young man.
A young 24-year-old man.
Yeah.
Little Bow Wow making a resurgence. Not really. As Twinkie.
Was his name Twinkie?
Yep.
Yeah. Sean's first friend he meets in Tokyo, who sells various consumer goods and catastrophically introduces Sean to drift racing. I don't know. How does he catastrophically?
I think
He's a bad
I
influence.
think the idea on that is he introduces him to it and it goes catastrophically.
He didn't
Not
switch, right?
not like he really fucked up showing him, but after his first race, it was just like, oh, he's
Let's-
not good at this.
Let's not skip over possibly the biggest cameo in this movie.
Jason
Zachary,
Statham.
Zachary
Oh.
Bryan.
Oh, sorry.
What?
Brad from
Oh.
Home Improvement.
Yeah.
Zachary Ty Bryan as Clay, the quarterback of Sean's school, whom Sean races at the beginning of the film.
The whole beginning of the film, while amazing in its own right,
It really sets up his character.
it almost seems kind of pointless. Like it gets referenced a little bit about, don't you get it? You got nowhere else to go. But I feel like he's got plenty of other places to go, and it only serves as a reason to get him to Japan. Like, they don't ever mention his, like, I guess they mention his mom, but he never like talks to his mom. She never checks in on him. That whole story, like, as soon as he gets to Japan, just kind of fades away until they need to bring it back to remind people, like, oh yeah, you're here because of this.
They also repeat the story because he gets into the fight with Tool Time Brad, Zachary Bryan. God damn, he looks so much like my high school quarterback.
Is it the perfect cast?
Maybe name dropping?
No, okay. QB for my school, like I always thought he looked like that kid, that actor. But now seeing him there, it's like, dear God, that's him.
Attitude and everything?
No, he wasn't that big of a
Just
dick.
looks. Okay.
Yeah,
Did he drive a Viper?
I don't know.
Did he talk about how it went 0 to 60 and whatever the fuck?
In what, like 3.5 seconds, right, guys? Yeah,
Something like that, yeah.
Oh,
Agree
yeah,
with me.
you
I'm
can read the
for
brochure.
No, they repeat that whole thing because he gets into the fight with him over the girl.
Yep.
And then he gets into the fight with DK over the girl.
Oh, yeah.
And then wrecked his car again.
Yep, they do
Only this
callbacks
time there's
too.
more consequences.
Yep. And every time he races, other people start trying to smash him. Every time.
You could probably easily just cut that whole bit out.
Yeah.
But then you lose
why
a
he's
cool
there.
chase.
Yeah.
That was a fun chase.
I mean, you could have even just inserted that in the beginning because it wasn't really that too crucial to the plot. Like, you could have just been, you're here because you have nowhere else to go. You got expelled from America, essentially.
Well, even stylistically, everything
Expelled
about
from
it.
America.
I believe they call it deported. The whole intro bit is stylistically completely different from the rest of the movie too. Like just the color palette and everything is odd. It seems very like generic American, and then it goes, hey, look at this wonderful, bright, colorful country.
Neon.
Very Americana.
Driving what's he driving? He's driving
Because-
a Monte Carlo.
So yeah, he's doing that. He's driving dirt, dust everywhere, cowboy music, Kid Rock. The drift rift, as you called it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he goes to Japan, and it's neon, bright colors,
Beautiful.
dudes with incredibly flat faces.
He does look like he got hit by a shovel in the most non-racist way I can say that.
He's the only one that looks like that.
I know,
It's
but
very
Brian
unique.
T.
It's
as
2019. Shit, I gotta cover my bases. While we're on the subject, spoiler alert for my what the fuck moment. Ba with the ba. American classic by American badass American Kid Rock. At least 50 times I've seen this movie, and it just now dawned on me that they loop. Oh, I'm only 10 times ahead of you. They loop that one specific verse of DB Cooper and the money he took, and I assume it was just to make the don't riff kick in when they needed it to, but it's so weird and so jarring, and I will never not notice it now.
Well, that's just noticing that though.
Normally I have too hard of an erection during that scene to know what's happening.
Oh, the blood is rushed out of my brain.
Yeah,
and into
I
my
can't
penis?
hear. All I hear is like I got flashbanged.
Terrible.
Yeah,
So-
I know they do that for movies. They'll edit it to make it fit the scene. Normally, you don't do that with lyrics, though.
Yeah.
Right?
the
Yeah,
music.
that was
That's
that was
kind
the
of
oddity.
where.
You usually just extend like maybe a riff in there or something, trying to make it fit well. But with the heavy lyrics in there,
Yeah, usually at that front you think you would shoot the scene around the lyrics.
I mean, they didn't have it as awesome as what that moment you had in Killer Instinct, was it?
Oh yeah.
Where the music just went with your combo.
Well, let's just say this movie's not as cool as I am. Clearly.
Clearly.
Not to toot my own horn, but
Beep beep, motherfucker. I literally have only one note minus the what the fuck favorite scene in MVP because of how often I had seen this movie. So I figured I would just answer any sort of questions.
you can't though, because I didn't prep for this because I don't have discussion points to talk about. I do have one, and it's basically, would you say with the release of this film that there was probably a drifting resurgence or
There was-
like a big interest in the car community?
Yeah, I would say not a resurgence. I would say an explosion. Because like outside of like car enthusiasts, before this movie, I don't think drifting was a well-established, well-known thing to like the common person.
So you think this movie kind of brought it to light?
Correct.
Specify here in America.
Right? Yeah. Correct.
Because I know drifting was big in Japan. I knew about it
like
from
always.
my friends were really big into Initial D, so they were always talking about drifting. I'm like,
So unless you
you're
have
turning a corner really fast, right?
unless you have G4, you probably don't know about it. But a combination of this movie and 2004 or 5, I want to say, is when Underground 2 came out. Need for Speed Underground 2, and that's what initially got me into drifting. And then this movie came out, and it was just like the perfect storm of like, this is the coolest thing in the world, and I want to do it, which I never did. 2003.
Yeah.
Damn, so good.
So it came out before.
Yeah, because I specifically remember playing Need for Speed with Brody, and then going to see this movie, and then when we left, there was a 350Z there, and we lost our minds.
Fucking.
Did you guys know anyone that either totaled their car or put it into a ditch?
Because
Trying
of
to
drifting?
drift.
Oh no.
Oh, there's someone at this table that's put their car into a ditch.
Well,
while
yeah, I
drifting.
put my car into a dip. I wasn't trying
me.
to drift.
While trying to drift, yeah.
You put your car?
You?
Oh yeah, I 100% went into a couple ditches and just drove myself back out.
With what?
My Alero, my first car.
You're
Oh, I
that
would
thing
never.
survived so much.
I would never have done that in my Cobalt, or definitely not my Focus. No.
I did it in a 92 Coupe de Ville Cadillac.
That's almost the perfect one to do it in.
Although I
bet
went
it was
into
comfy.
the ditch and then went upside down into a cornfield.
Ooh,
So
yeah, so no longer comfy.
Did you not know I did that?
Wait.
No.
I never told you about that.
When you were
No.
upside down, did a Tabasco bottle?
No,
So
no.
you're in your IROC?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I thought you
my
said 350Z.
what?
Sorry.
What? No, I was in a Cadillac.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was.
Also,
I wasn't
an IROC,
drifting,
yeah.
but I wound up in the ditch.
I had my Corsica, my 92 Corsica. I'd always try and drift, but you just can't really do that in an automatic. I just floored it and braked, and
My Alero was automatic.
I just didn't do it.
You
well
just didn't know
that
what you were
way.
doing. You can't really drift in an automatic, right? Because a lot of it is the rear wheel.
It's more just
a
sliding
rear
than
wheel
actually
and
spinning.
and pushing yourself through and like working, getting the gear so you can get revs and stuff. But you can hold the e-brake and just kind of slide and then try and counter steer back out.
Were you, side tangent, were you there that time that our coworker at Subway, who shall remain nameless, took the
Carl?
trays and put them under the back of his car and then started like doing donuts?
Oh no, but I heard about it and I had wished I was there.
Like, yep, yeah, he would do that.
Dude, we got so bored working at that Subway. Like, I lit a pair of shoes on fire.
Did you
in
know
the
that
back
Subway
once.
is not there anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I knew that
I
a
just found
long
that
ass
out.
time. Really? It's been like years, man.
That's almost like I don't go to Colfax.
They were
'cause it's a
they were
show.
crossed.
really upset when they had to move across the interstate.
Yeah, because they didn't have that big business.
They were really
Shame.
mad at Come and Go then.
For shame.
Yes. I never understood the huge fad with drifting.
Um,
Like, yeah, it looks cool. I fully admit that, but maybe don't try drifting on gravel roads because you're not a fucking driver.
Well, so the gravel road serves two purposes. One, it's way less busy. And two, it helps you slide. Because if you try and drift on a standard asphalt road, you will destroy your tires very quickly.
And probably your alignment and everything else associated
Well, you
with
can
that.
still do that. You can still do that on gravel when you go in the ditch. But I think the fat is a good term for it because it's definitely not kind of like a mainstream thing anymore. There's obviously still people like that like cars that still think it's the coolest thing ever. But
Who still listen to Kid Rock and Ball with the Ball.
Stop describing Kirk.
First of all, I would not listen to Kid Rock. I would be drifting to
Limp
chocolate
Bizkit.
starfish and the hot dog flavored water, which Mike Falzone just made my day.
Oh, with that.
A, defending wrestling, B, defending Limp Bizkit. My man's.
Give him the shout out. Not
But-
that we'll promote him anymore with our 12 viewers.
The thing with drifting, I think it to the public it was just, oh man, that's so cool. It's squealy and loud and smokes. But I think to the car enthusiast, it's more of a technical thing. Because for some reason there's this misnomer that drifting is a faster style of driving, when it's much slower than regular driving. That's all I can see and
It's
think.
just stylized
Much more
turning.
graceful too.
It is. You're burning more gas because you're at higher RPMs, and you're also destroying the fuck out of your tires and probably your transmission and all a bunch of other cool things getting torqued down there.
I may
The
be
G-forces,
confusing.
man.
I may be confusing this with Days of Thunder.
The Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah, where the guy's like, "Here's your way," and shows bald tires. "Here's my way," and shows good tires. I swear that was in this movie.
No.
Like, I'm sure he was like, "No, you can't have more tires. See, you destroyed them."
That happens in this movie. He's
I mean,
like,
the whole point where, yeah, they're expensive. But I could have swore there was like, "Look, here's crappy tires. This is what you've done to them. They're very expensive."
I see.
I'm just confusing cars and tires because
Which that
me,
doesn't make
me
sense.
brain bad.
I think he's got a concussion.
I love you, Jenny.
This is one of those areas, well, I guess every area of car, I would say I'm not an expert, but I feel like in NASCAR, which Days of Thunder is about, don't they normally have like smooth tires? Because isn't the track supposed to be smooth and the smooth, like it's not about grip? I
I think they're just made out of a different compound that's
Possibly.
more grippy for the road.
Because they're definitely not heavily treaded. Like I feel like every time I've ever tried, I've never paid attention, I guess, in NASCAR unless there's a wreck going on, but I don't know.
In a way, Country Bumpkin moves to Tokyo because that's an easier way to deal with his problems than, I don't know, therapy or family help
or paying
Juvenile.
back.
Isn't it juvenile? He was going to juvie if he didn't go to Japan.
No, he was going to jail. They kept
Yeah.
saying specifically jail,
Jail.
which he's not even 18 yet. So I guess it
How old
depends
is he
on the
supposed
state.
to be?
18.
He's not 18 yet. They say
How does he have a license?
They say
then?
before your 18th birthday when he's in the prison
Oh,
or in
okay.
the police station.
Because there's a part on there that's, they said he just turned legal or something on there.
No, he said, "Hey, hands off women. He's not legal."
That's right.
But they're in Japan, and I don't know what the age of consent in Japan is. So who fucking
13.
knows? Well, that's depressing as fuck.
Have you seen
Finally,
Lolly?
a negative thing about.
Lolly.
Oh
yeah.
God, no.
Yeah.
By the way, side tangent, those
I don't wanna know
NASCAR
about that.
tires, they look completely bald. That's not because they're worn out, it's by design.
Yeah, it gives
On
more
a dry
grip, right?
track, yeah, tires can generate more traction if they're more sticky.
Yeah.
So if there's more rubber on the ground, they get more traction.
So it sounds like Days of Thunder was full of shit. Tom Cruise.
Jeez. I mean, they're probably just trying to push their agenda for.
How did they
Their-
get out
their
of like
liberal
who?
agenda.
Like who paid for all the damages?
In the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, they had
Hans.
so many fucking sponsorships.
Not like the kayfabe damages.
Oh, okay. The kayfabe. Just-
Like when he destroys all those houses while they're racing.
They just leave. They go on a. He's like, I'm gonna go to Japan, and then they destroy Japan. He's like, I'm gonna take a train and run away from my problems.
But his mom's still there.
And
His
somehow
legal guardian is still
they
there.
they managed to dodge the police too. Like, hey, we
Well,
locked
no.
down your.
His
Poor
mom slept
warehouse.
with the cop,
They do
and
insinuate
that
a little bit.
that got it removed.
It's Miz, actually.
Can you light my cigarette?
There's a no smoking sign behind me.
I'll suck your dick.
That's pretty much what the implication was, yeah.
Very subtle, actually.
And you know, it happens often because when she starts going into the, hey, I'm a hot single mom, like, Sean rolls his eyes like, oh, not again.
God, Mom, let me pick my
37
own
dicks.
problems.
How old are his parents? Because they're both just getting it, you know? Mom's getting it. First thing he sees when he goes to see his dad is his dad be getting it.
Well, his dad's a Navy SEAL.
That's true. Well, is he a Navy SEAL or is he just in the
He's
Army?
an officer, but
Yeah.
that's all that I can decipher.
He is in the Navy, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a shirtless.
That's what I thought it said on there. I didn't read it,
Navy
though.
at the base.
Yeah.
0700.
Why didn't
I'm a
his dad
military
just go
man.
beat up the Yakuza?
Because he's a one man, he can't get involved with international politics.
If his dad was being played by Bruce Willis, he would have.
Yeah.
I think it would make me not like this movie.
Let's go kick
Speaking
their
of
ass.
people playing as other people, Channing Tatum was apparently auditioned for the role as
Sean?
Sean, yes.
Would have preferred that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because really, you won't hear about this entire movie. But seriously, I saw this guy in New Orleans, NCIS rather. I thought, what the fuck is he doing? Everyone can tell it's a fake accent. No, he really sounds like this.
Well, see, now here's the other
He's
thing
the
that bothers me about that.
epitome
Yeah.
of America.
Yeah. Well, what bothers
The
me
epitome.
is, he's from Texas, right? But they talk about moving around a lot, so he could have been literally anywhere. Why the accent? It just,
He's also the only one with that accent.
yeah, like his
the
dad
whole
doesn't
high
really have it.
school
His
didn't
mom's
have it either.
kind of got it, but
I guess high school could have been somewhere else.
it just so it's my favorite out of the franchise, but it's my least favorite main character of any of the movies. Like,
He has the least character about him, really.
he's also got zero charisma. Like his only thing is, well, I guess I finally realized that sometimes you gotta just go for what you want. Also, I can't wink with my right eye, so it's always gonna be the left one, no matter which side you're on. And also, I'm gonna just do a weird smile at everybody.
I like how he keeps slipping into Forrest Gump. I love you, Johnny.
Every
He
time.
does a little bit.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna drift
Yeah.
now.
Yep.
And I was just drifting.
So
I kept drifting and drifting.
drift, Forrest, drift.
Can we make that matchup?
Please, let's make it happen.
So if I could change anything about this movie, it would be recasting Sean as anyone. What if you could fix one thing in this movie? What would you fix?
I would just take out that whole beginning.
The beginning bit. Yeah.
It's the only thing I can think of, honestly.
I kind of hate. I get why they do it, but I really hate the. Oh, here comes the outside American into this foreign country, and he learns their ways. But then he uses American muscle to beat the Japanese.
It's like the
Given it was a Japanese engine.
It's like
propaganda.
You taught me about your ways, and then I taught you about why mine's is better.
Dances with wolves over here.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know. Why are we so mean to like redneck people? Like that's kind of us, isn't it? Like
we're Midwestern.
It's not far off, depending on where
it's pretty far off.
talk to some people from California, and they'll be like, "Oh, yo, rednecks over there in the Midwest," and shoot.
We're just ranch-loving Midwesterners.
Yeah, right. I don't know.
Yeehaw.
By the way, folks, if you didn't already figure this out, this film takes place in 2013, so it's depicting the future with old cars. And
That is a new development.
Do they
to
ever?
me.
Yeah, that's my biggest problem with not really this, but the whole Fast and Furious franchise. It's very obvious they had the first movie Vin Diesel, second movie just Paul Walker. This was kind of like, okay, now we're gonna make a new cast, see how this goes, and then they went back to Vin Diesel and then they changed the formula. This movie is not a future movie.
Right. There's
Like they just
nothing
went
about
back and said, that happens in the future because we want to bring the Hans character back.
Right.
We'll just push that somewhere.
It's not a future.
and say screw it.
It's not a future movie out of reason. It's a future movie out of necessity.
Yeah, it's retcon.
Exactly. 100%.
unfortunately.
What is Hans? I've never seen the rest of the Fast and Furious movies. So what does Hans do? Doesn't he like rob a bank?
Yeah.
And then they stop
Yep.
a super terrorist.
Yep.
And then they jump out of a plane with cars.
At that point, I believe.
And then he goes back just drifting with the Yakuza.
So I believe he's
Yeah,
already
fuck
died
it.
at that point. It does make it seem kind of. It works in some ways and it doesn't in other ways, because it does make it seem like he should not be as worried about. Although he is kind of nonchalant about the entire Yakuza thing and all that.
Well, because
But
he's a business partner, so he's just like, it's just business.
That's where it gets weird. It almost seems like he would be too qualified to be partnered with.
With a
him.
young kid. Yeah, how
Yeah.
old is he supposed to be?
Well, that's the other weird thing, because like he's hanging out. I don't think they ever really establish his age in any of the other movies either. But the majority of the people that he's with in those movies, like Vin Diesel, has to be in his mid to late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
Paul Walker's character is like an undercover FBI agent, so he's got to be in his 30s or something just to qualify, you would think. So you would assume he's somewhere around there too. Which brings in the question, how old is DK and why is he hitting on a 17-year-old high school girl? Like,
DK
it's so
kind of
strange.
makes sense because he's not really the boss. He's just the nephew of the
Right.
boss.
Yeah.
So him being younger, his like mini crew being with him in high school makes sense.
So Han made business partners with a younger kid just because his father's or his uncle's.
Right. He does it so that he doesn't. He explains it when they're driving. And he asks him like about DK, and he says that he does it so he keeps his uncle off his back because it's better to have 50% of something than 100% of nothing.
Yeah.
Which I guess it makes sense, but it just, I don't know. That whole thing seems weird knowing his backstory.
They're treated as friends. They're friends though. DK even says we were friends, we were partners.
Yeah, but I think it's insinuated that Han is using him the entire time. Not like in a super, like it is kind of a mean way because he's stealing from him, but
Yeah.
he's definitely using him as a means to an end. What doesn't make sense though is why does he need that end? If he's done all the other things and he's helped the United States government, it's where is his money at?
Because maybe he had to leave it all behind, I would assume.
Well, no, I've seen the scene where he leaves on a happy note. Like I think like he gets on a bike with a girl.
Oh yeah,
Like where to?
yeah.
Like Japan to drift.
Can we talk about one of the other great things about Han's character? He's the one in the movie that ends up with Gal Gadot. So he's with Wonder Woman? Yeah, she's in those movies.
Oh, okay.
She's a really... Which makes... Oh my god, holy fuck. My brain hurts.
Have we confirmed this is now part of the DCEU?
And it's also part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe because of the Hulk car crossover
Hulk car?
achieved.
Ooh, boy.
Although I guess that we already decided that was achieved with J. Jonah Jameson. But in whichever one they go to, I think Brazil, and the first time they're working with the government.
I know.
Anyways, they
They're
got to
too
break into
convoluted.
this guy's. They break into this guy's building, but they've got cameras everywhere, and they kind of learn the timing of when they like pan left and right, and when they kick on and off, and things like that. And they're all trying. They had like set up a perfect like replica of the garage that they have to get through, and none of them can do it in time. And that's when Gal Gadot comes in, and she drifts the whole thing perfectly. And that might be where Han learned it, because he's the one that ends up being with that lady, Wonder Woman. That hurt my brain, and it makes more sense than it should.
Didn't show up in this one.
Right, because she's just
She didn't exist yet.
I think she dies. I do think she dies before he leaves. I don't know for sure though. Also, Jason Statham kills him in the retcon, not just an explosion from the gas leakage.
Really?
So Jason Statham is trying to track down Dom because do you remember the guy from The Hobbit that shoots down the dragon, Bard?
Vaguely.
He plays Shaw, who is one of the villains in the one before Jason Statham, and he's got this little ramp car that flips things or whatever.
Okay.
So they end up killing him. Jason Statham plays his brother, wants revenge. So to get back at Dom, he kills Han to bring him out of wherever he's at. So that's how they try and tie that back in. So basically, I gotta see my favorite character die twice. Yeah, sad.
The only thing I remember, from that was.
Do you got a moment to talk about wrestling?
The one part in I think it's the one with Jason Statham in it where they play chicken with the two cars and then they just end up slamming into each other. There's a scene in one of the films where they're about
they hit and they both fly out and start punching?
I don't think so, but I really hope so. You might be thinking of I think it's Fast 5 where they're on a bridge and he hits the divider
and he goes
to
and he catches her to catch what's her name that always dies?
Michelle Rodriguez.
Michelle Rodriguez, yeah.
Letty.
It's true, wasn't she in
She
the
died
Resident
3
Evil
times.
She was in the Resident Evil movies, wasn't? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Which there's a parallel to that as well.
What?
Yeah, I realized that I know more about Fast and the Furious franchise than I ever thought I did or wished to know. But
wish to admit that I knew.
So she almost has the same arc as Jill Valentine. So are either of you Resident Evil fans?
Roughly.
So Jill Valentine is Chris Redfield's girlfriend, and he thinks she dies, but then she comes back, and she's being mind controlled by the Scarab, and his thing is I gotta bring her back. Same thing happens to Letty, who's Michelle Rodriguez in this. So he thinks she dies, but it turns out the bullet didn't kill her. It gave her brain damage or something, and then they brainwash her into being a bad guy to try and take Dom out, and then Dom's like, I gotta bring her back for family or something, right? Do your Vin Diesel. Your Vin Diesel's better.
Family. Gotta bring her back. By an inch by a mile.
Yeah.
Family's family. No, I really like your granny shifting. Double clutching by an inch or by a mile. Everything's winning.
That would be my perfect ideal version of these movies. Just everyone's just kind of sassy and a little bit passive aggressive.
No. I want to see your Fast and the Furious Canadian drift.
Oh, that would be
where
glorious.
They're drifting in the snows of
I'm gonna go take
Quebec.
over this corner, eh?
Oh, now slow down, don't you know?
You gonna go too fast?
Oh no, you go right ahead. No, you go right ahead.
You never had me, eh? You never had your car, eh? Winnipeg shifting like a hose or Gretzky, please. Make it happen.
We did a whole D&D campaign where he was just Canadian as fuck.
Oh, I loved it. I loved every second of it.
What are you talking about?
Just about as much as I love this movie, eh?
Oh, hoser bozer.
Well, I don't have other talking discussion points. I will go over some other interesting facts. There were over 100 cars that were destroyed during this film. Destroyed or wrecked.
Yep.
After poor test screenings, Universal Studios asked Vin Diesel to make a cameo appearance to boost its box office potential. Diesel agreed to appear if Universal would relinquish the rights to Riddick franchise to him. Diesel was then able to make Riddick in 2013 independently.
You know what's really weird though? The test screenings were bad, so they asked him to come on board, but then they didn't credit him.
Yeah, he was uncredited.
Was he? I don't remember him being. I guess I don't remember the trailer, but was he in the trailer at the end? Because that would be kind of shitty to have him in the trailer and then be like, well, just to insinuate that he's in the movie.
They always do that though.
I don't know. That's kind of
maybe they just showed
move.
his car in the trailers, be like, oh, is it
that car? He doesn't really have that car in any other movies.
Doesn't he usually just have the black one?
It's a Charger, yeah.
And Toyo donated 4,000 tires for the movie. Roughly half of them were used. Ray's Engineering donated its 170 Volk Racing wheels as well. I don't know.
Take that, Yokohama.
Or my what is the other really common? My wheels.
Goodyear.
No.
Firestone.
No. Oh my god.
Iron Man.
You have them.
Huh?
I believe you have them. No.
Oh, Pirelli.
Pirellis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I would change in this movie? He wouldn't go to fucking school.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stop cussing so much. That's 4. I wouldn't have him go to school.
Is that your New Year's resolution?
Not really a resolution. I just watched our Christmas Story podcast.
Oh, gotcha.
And I cuss in every other sentence.
Wait,
and I'm
you
like,
watched this? I don't watch this show.
Yeah, I sit there. I like to suffer. I like to sound my own voice.
Appreciate
Hi,
it.
Lance. How are you?
Yeah, just imagine you. What day is it? 6 days from now. Pretty good, Lance. How are you?
And
Comment
then
down below.
on the first, then he'll have to respond.
Yeah.
You'll have a long, ongoing conversation with yourself.
Yeah, good. That's what life is. No, I wouldn't have him go to school.
It's kind of
He
pointless.
wouldn't. It's pointless. Like they don't teach. I don't think they teach in English.
He seemed like he knew.
Most would probably know English.
It would be
I
nice
don't
for
s-
him to learn English.
I don't
though.
really see this type of person. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. He might learn Japanese pretty quick.
Maybe he's a
Wow,
But within a week, I don't think Matu Ashi Wato. I'm really slipping on that one.
Honestly, I don't. Maybe he's a
Domo
closet weeaboo.
arigato, Mr.
and I lost
Roboto.
He could be a
Ultra
closet
Italian.
weeaboo. He might be really big in anime.
I do.
He has a body pillow?
I doubt it. Oh God. What is it called? Yahigo, whatever the face is.
I have no idea.
Oh, there's a subreddit
don't even
about
know
it.
that
and
one.
I stumbled across it. And I was like, this is disturbing, and I can't stop
And you're
scrolling.
subscribed.
Didn't subscribe. It's not trashy boners. Come on.
What was that last one? Trashy Boner?
Trashy boners. You gotta have
Just,
you gotta have safe search off or whatever.
No problem there.
Man.
No, I would
So-
take out the whole school bit. Just have him wandering around. Oh, look, cars. I like cars.
It is unnecessary too, because I think I would assume the idea is, oh, he's 17, so we gotta keep reminding people that he's still in school. But the real thing is, they almost try to use it as a way to show them interacting, but they all go to the same fucking races. Like they
feel-
don't need that for all those people to get together.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's his first time meeting Little Bow Wow's character, but I mean, I feel like he should have met him at like a karaoke bar or something that's really common in Japan.
Yeah.
instead of
Or,
going to
hey,
school.
son,
Bow Wow could have been doing
here's
his own song.
Dave and his son, Little Bow Wow. They are also at the base. Be friends. And then they go play together, and they're like, okay, let's ditch the old people and go.
Yeah, that would have been better too.
He could have just been walking by and heard like engines revving and be like, oh,
the
what's
school
that?
route didn't have to be there.
My engine boner is rising. I smell oil and gasoline.
I guess the idea is
rubber.
that he got kicked
Not a
out of getting kicked out of one school and has to go into another school.
Right.
Maybe
Which
to keep
makes-
with the, hey, I'm
It
still
still
a
makes
child.
no sense though, because like they reference the fact that he's had multiple like speeding tickets and things like that, and that's not a school issue. That's a government issue. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That whole premise is a bit strange, but at the same time, it's also Fast and Furious movies. How much can you really ask? You know?
No, and I get it, but if you're just gonna focus on the cars, just focus on the cars. Why bother with the storytelling aspect of he's a troubled child, he has difficulty in schools, so let's send him to one of the hardest school systems on the planet,
Where they really care about how well you do.
where he will not speak any language.
Wabaki.
Where Wabaki. Wabaki.
Oh, Wabake.
Again, Forrest Gump. Yeah, where kids literally kill themselves for being too difficult.
And then they become ghosts. I've seen those movies.
Yeah, those are spooky
Those
movies.
documentaries are scary.
Japan, you make some fucking terrifying movies.
Really, it's the Koreans that know what they're doing.
Well, there's those
Korean.
Bluebeard. Have you?
Ooh, yeah, I saw it, yeah.
You should check
Yeah.
that out.
Bluebeard?
Yes, real good.
Yeah. Anytime you're gonna ask
About
me
a butt doctor.
if I've seen an Asian horror movie, just be like, "Oh, right, you're the one that showed me."
Sorry, an Asian butt doctor?
Wow. They do colonoscopies.
Colonoscopies.
I keep fucking that word up. I keep swearing too. Probably doesn't
Epitome?
help. Yes, the epitome.
I just want it to
of
be known that I'm the only one with alcohol in the system right now.
hyperbole. That word
You
I used
guys-
yesterday.
Hyperbole.
You guys may not have this problem, but every time I see one of the school scenes, I think, am I watching a porn? Oh, no, wait, that's right. That's just what the schools actually look like. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say that's only you. I've definitely had some impure thoughts about this movie, but not that impure.
Oh, can we talk about how unrealistic those meetups at those garages are?
Yeah, that would get busted in a second.
Not only that, but I have some. So I'll just break it out of there right now. My favorite scene is essentially when they go to those, because I really like the whole like party aspect that's going. Too. But like
all that
that wouldn't exist because there wouldn't be near as many ladies at a real one. Because I think there'd be a lot of dudes getting hard-ons about other dudes' cars. I'm assuming because I've never been to one, but I don't know.
I want to say you're correct in most cases, but do you remember that? I think it might have been a Vice documentary about those. I
don't know if it was Vice,
but
I know what you're talking about.
The Honda Club, whatever they were.
Was it Vape Wars?
No. But they were smoke. Nah, fuck it. But I would think that it could be more that Yakuza. I don't really know how to say it. I always say Yakuza, but it might be like
White Devil,
possibly El Diablo Blanca. I would think maybe it's like almost a party that they're throwing, and so it's an actual like party, not necessarily just like a car meetup. That could potentially influence it, but I would agree. I've seen car meets in real life, and it's just dudes, a lot of dudes.
What's the bro to hoe ratio?
5 to 1 is rodeo. Too many dicks on the dance floor.
Too many dicks.
Too many dicks on the dance.
But yeah, no, that's what I have on there. Is like I just don't think there'd be that many attractive ladies at a party like that.
When I was invited to join a car club.
Cobalt Car Club in the parking lot?
They asked me multiple times. It was always just a bunch of dudes, and I was always like, "Nah, I'm good. I don't care to do that." Yeah, I would never join a car club. So their pitch was, they had a business card first of all, and I did put it on my fridge. I put it on my fridge.
This was at school.
No, this was when I was working at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, okay.
But there was a girl that I went to school with that was friends with them, and that was unbeknownst to me at the time. I was working there, and I guess they had staked the place out. I don't know how they knew, but at some point, one of them goes up to me, he's like, and I think I've decided he's going to be Sean in this instance. He was like, "Hey, is that your cobalt out there?" And I was like, yeah. Hey, we got a Cobalt Club. You want to do it? And at this point, my interest is piqued. Not in any terms of like, yes, I will be joining, but like more like, what the fuck is the Cobalt Club?
Excuse me?
And that's when he pulls out his wallet and he's like, so we got a club and we all own Cobalts and we like work on our Cobalts and stuff. And I was like, so you guys just like take pictures? He's like, oh yeah, and sometimes we'll like drive around together and stuff, and then we'll like go to parking lots and like take pictures and like talk about what we're working on and stuff. And I was like, hard pass. And like a couple weeks later, saw him again, tried again. I was like, hard pass. This is where it got spooky though. So I'm driving I'm not driving because I can't drive at this point because I'm inebriated. So I toss the old keys over to Brody and he's driving because I don't know why, but it's me, him, I think like maybe Dakota and Logan or something, and out the 24-hour Burger King.
You're by Anchor?
Yeah going by that area, stop at a stoplight, see a Cobalt pull up to the side, see another one behind it, look in the rear view, see one behind me. They all go real fast and like, jerk themselves off or something. And we're like, man, we're hungry. Let's just go to fucking the Burger King's up here. Let's go there. We pull in. Turns out that's where they had gone.
Oh, no.
And they're all outside. And I was just like, no, get out of the car entirely. Because they're going to ask me to join again.
How long did you stay in that car?
10 minutes, and they had not left yet. And we got out, and Brody gets out, and they think he's the one driving because he's got what is that?
Is that his car?
Not that one.
Not that one.
It's a 2005 SS.
So worse than that one.
No, it's better than that one. That looks like the LS. But they go to Brody and they're like, "You want to join the Cobalt Club?" Oh, and I was inside eating my marinara thing.
Okay, that's more
sporty, not so. This is my.
I mean, it's still a Chevy. But,
as a Ford driver, I
agree.
It was black.
There you go.
Black rims.
Yep.
That's what I'm thinking.
Ugh,
yeah.
Gross. Like a wannabe El Camino?
Yeah.
It's like a Ute.
A truckier version.
It's a Ute.
Gross.
Oh, that's disgusting. I love it.
I hate it.
I want it.
Oh, that was gross. I hope that's not your actual preference in cars.
Strangely, okay, I do really love the El Camino.
El Caminos are cool, but
Which,
that's not.
I mean, no, that's hideous.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
But I like those. I do kind of like. I saw this Honda. It was a knockoff of a Hummer, and it had a snorkeler on it. I'm like, I want that.
I can submerge myself.
Yeah, I love ugly. No.
Not
You
gonna
know,
lie, I think
I'm
that
there with you.
honestly, that car you used to have, that IROC, I don't know why, but
You mean like
it
Camaro?
it fit your personality and who you were for some reason. Like
That was-
anytime I saw that, that's just
Okay, so
It
back
isn't-
in that
No
day.
mullet back there.
Okay, no. Don't imagine a mullet. Imagine like 80 less pounds. Not quite
Used to
jacked, but
Aviators?
I used to live. I did wear aviators.
I was gonna
Think
say, I
of, like,
think you
Travis
have to.
Curtis, but a little
Um,
bit.
I'm
bigger,
pretty
like-
sure
No
the keys of an
mullet?
IROC comes with a pair of aviators.
No mullet, but I did have a jarhead high and tight.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
I remember. Did you get written up for that one time you called that one person that one word, or did you get fired for that?
Oh, do you mean Karen Zuri? No, I didn't get fired for that. I didn't left that job when I went to summer camp. They offered me a job, and I said, "Cool. Hey, I'm not coming back. Bye." I just left.
And then you put on your aviators and peeled out and did donuts in the parking
Yeah.
You just dropped that C word at her. It was hilarious. I remember.
That was all her
getting
fault.
butthurt
No,
about
that
it.
was all George's fault.
Fucking George.
Fucking. It's 5, George. That was all his fault. Because I covered a shift for him, and he was supposed to cover my shift, but then he didn't. And then she called me, like, "You're on the schedule." I'm like, "No, I'm not." And then we started arguing and fighting.
Were they aggressive shifts?
Yes.
Like,
With a triple reverse, going backwards, carrying a.
While riding,
Safe.
the car's
Yeah.
driving forward and throw it in reverse and hear that wonderful noise the car makes.
or when you don't quite hit the gear.
Hit the gas. Anyway,
So, welcome back to Car Talk
Perils.
Radio.
Yeah.
Tom, what is your favorite car of all time?
All time?
All
in the
time.
film or just in general?
I was going to ask you what your favorite Fast and Furious car is, but I assumed you don't know.
Don't know.
Yeah.
probably don't know.
Yeah.
Overall, honestly, it's the aesthetic, but I liked the RX-8.
That's in this movie.
I like the way it looks. It has kind of that roadster-ish feel to it, but it's also kind of like what an affordable sports car would look
Yep.
like. Granted, I know internally it's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
With that, rotary
It's got the
engine with
rotary engine,
triangle
yeah,
shit.
and it burns
And
itself out real
I
quick.
hate how they put it on every little thing in that car, like the headrest had
Yeah, they got
triangles
the,
in
like,
it,
rounded- yeah.
and just but
Yep.
aesthetically, I always really liked.
I almost had
RX-8.
one.
Really?
My cousin had one, and he was going to trade it for my Cobalt, and then he told me about that, and I was like, well, that was a dumb idea. Now I don't want it. Yeah, no. I agree, though. Those cars, I always liked them from Underground 2. That was like one of your starter cars. I'm like, you could soup that bitch up.
I just like the aesthetics.
What's your favorite car, Lance?
All time or movie?
Either one. Or both.
I do love the El Camino.
That's a solid choice.
I mean, I know it's a little trashy.
the car truck?
It's almost the right amount, though.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the IROC. Like, it's just the right amount of, like, Americana, but not too much like the Humvee, or not Humvee, like the H2 or something like that, where it's
Yeah,
just like
the
obnoxious.
original
Yeah.
Giant.
Yeah.
Arnold by a Hummer.
Yeah.
El Camino. Yeah, it's the only thing. Like, don't get me wrong, the El Camino is a cool car, but I always just thought the ratio of the back end to the front end just kind of it's a little strange.
It's
but
sporty and utilitarian. So
you
does
need
that mean your favorite car in the not Need for Speed, Fast and Furious franchise is Neela's car then?
Is that what it was?
She drives her little like purple iridescent car is a RX-8.
How do you even spell her name?
Neela.
Oh, hey, look, Neela's RX-8.
Mini Cooper.
Yeah.
I
I mean, the
really
paint job's
like
not
Mini Coopers,
terrible. I might.
I
not
always
go
wanted
with
a British
baby
flag on
blue.
the top. Go do tunnels like an Italian job.
Yeah, I may not go with
Can
the
that be
baby
the next
blue,
movie?
but overall,
Yeah, if you'd like it to be, I'll
I've never
100%
seen
watch it. Oh, that's it. We can Italian job.
Ooh,
It depends. Do you want to watch the Marky Mark version or the Michael Caine version?
my cocaine?
Which one's better? You
I've
can make fun
only-
of the Marky Mark.
I've only seen that one, but it's got most depth, so it's got that going for it.
Okay.
Ooh.
Call back to Hitchhiker's Guide.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite car of all time is the Testarossa. Oh,
Oh,
oh.
can't be.
If I could ever afford that and just blare some Kavinsky, we'll like go in
It's just-
85 or something, you know,
It's
dangerous
the car
but
with
safe.
heat sinks on the side is how I always viewed it.
Yeah.
I mean, so I used to have a big old hard-on for the Ferrari F50.
Mm-hmm.
That used to be a thing.
Child of the
so
90s,
I
you
mean,
have
if it was anything before the RX-8, that's what it would be. But yeah, no, that Testarossa was a pretty bomb-ass car. It looked a little too plain for me at the same time because I always liked having, like, when I was younger, cars with spoilers. I always thought were badass.
Well, that means they're fast, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, but I mean,
The racing stripe makes them go faster.
that's true.
I have one.
It's the
I have a
aerodynamics.
final point about this movie that I just remembered we were talking about. So, as I have now grown up, and this movie is
Fart.
what was it?
Grown up kids.
Dutch Oven was the one that was giving me the other day.
I was watching a camping show and he's like, they're like, yeah, we got our Dutch oven up here. And Chris like,
They said it like 15
Dutch
times,
Oven.
and I laughed 15 times. But now that 10 years has passed, and I have learned much more about cars and racing and how it works, am I wrong in assuming that? I guess it's kind of established at this point that Sean is an idiot. But if the idea is the first one to the bottom wins, right, and the hill climb down, why does he not just drive like a normal drive and let DK drift everywhere and go way slower and then just pass him through the turns and then just never look back instead of trying to drift?
because
It's about honor.
It's about the drift.
I know, but I don't think they specifically go, yeah, we're going to drift race to the bottom. And, like, there's not an
How do
actual...
you race a drift king though?
Depends, do you
How
want
do
to
you
win
take-
or
how
do you...
how do you take the drift king title? You have to outdrift the drift.
Pit maneuver.
Yeah,
I
pit
mean, that's
maneuver's a
essentially
solid
what he
move.
did, but
Just chuck him off the edge in your heavier car. He's got a fucking 350Z. That thing weighs nothing. Ugh. Anyways, I mean, I think I've touched everything I can about this movie.
your little Bow Wow
Including
thing you were going
myself.
to talk about.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, your
Bow Wow's
mind-blowing-
character's gay.
Your mind-blowing theory.
It kind of fell apart when I watched the movie this time because it had been a minute since I'd seen it. But I think there is something to be said. I think Bow Wow's character is a closeted gay. One of his first lines is "Don't ask, don't tell." Right? His name is literally Twink. Everyone calls him Twink the entire movie. It's Twinkie, but everyone calls him Twink. And I think he's in a relationship with DK's like right-hand man, the guy that...
Oh, the blonde guy?
Yeah.
Beats the crap out of him.
So I think that's a spat of spousal abuse is what's happening there. That guy's always giving kissy faces to other dudes too, and I think it's the subtext that was written into the movie. Maybe not on purpose, but there's a weird like bell curve in manly things where at some point it becomes so manly that it's just super gay.
Kind of like Top Gun.
Top Gun, wrestling, UFC, just sweaty dudes
Having a
laying on each
bromance.
other. Yeah. Even depending on how drunk people get, grilling, you know? It can go from super bro time to I fucking love you, man. You know?
Has to be
Yeah.
well grilling.
Yeah. There's it's what do they call that? Homoeroticism. It's there.
It's no homo. It's just bromance. It's guy love.
Guy love.
That's all it is.
Exactly.
He's mine, I'm his.
That was kind of my thing. But then now I'm watching the movie back, you know, he kind of gets in the elevator with all the girls and he breaks the fourth wall for some reason. Winks at the camera. Well, the other thing too, at the party, he's like, hot chicks everywhere. He's like, want to buy Snickers? You know? But that
American
could just be the
Snickers.
hustler in him, you know. Anyways, kind of fell apart. What's your what the fuck moment?
My what the fuck moment was essentially I didn't put it down because I kind of forgot. So please continue while I try to jumble together a scene from the movie that gave me that what the fuck moment.
Why does Brad Taylor look like Pete from high school? Why is he going to Japan?
What a very specific what the fuck moment. Only relatable to you.
The whole
Brad
Japan
Taylor?
thing. His name was Brad Taylor in Home Improvement.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry,
got a
Zachary
scholarship.
Bryan.
He got a scholarship.
Yeah, like that's going to be memorable.
On what?
I don't know. Working on a motherfucking scholarship.
Yeah,
So
good luck
is
with
it?
that.
Well, what is it? Is it
I'd say
Brad
it's the
Taylor or is it
Japan.
the Japan thing?
The Japan thing. I forgot Brad Taylor was in this. I get why it's there. It's just a vehicle to get them to Japan.
so they can drift.
But if you're just going to focus on the cars, just get to the cars. You don't even need the mom in this. Just Kid shows up, Japan establishing shots, we're in Japan. Tokyo, go.
Do you think
This is your last chance, boy. Don't mess up, no cars. Ooh, cars.
he doesn't even really have to be an American, but I would assume that's just more of a marketing and trying to like...
It's a fish out of water thing.
Right, yeah.
He wouldn't know what drifting
Outside.
is because he's a muscle car guy.
Do you think this movie would be better if it was a Japanese movie?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we were going to do Immortal. We didn't because the movie sucks. So we sit here for like 20 minutes trying to find something. You're like, oh, we did Japanuary last time. Let's do a Japanese movie. And you pick fucking Tokyo Drift?
That's all that it was based on.
Oh, don't you know how they sleep in Tokyo?
Come on and slam, and welcome to Japan.
You wanted to do that so bad
Yeah.
last time.
Oh,
You had a moment.
it's the place to be. Feel like salmon. It's a stretch because they got sushi. You figure out your what the fuck moment?
Yeah, Twink's car. I hate that fucking car. When that first pulled up,
Yep.
I shit you not, when the first time I saw that scene, I was like, what am I looking at? And then I realized it was at the foot or the fist in the back.
I think it's a fist.
Okay, because I was just like, what's going on?
Does everyone let Sean drive their car?
Yeah.
The moment they meet him?
Basically.
The only person that doesn't let him drive his car is Neela.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Puerto Rican,
Can't blame her.
Peruvian
after she
Japanese
watched him
girl.
destroy that
Yeah.
one car.
Yeah. Which is odd. That's a strange thing. I wonder if there's like a maybe not a trust thing, but a power parallel going on. I don't know. It's interesting because I think when Han lets him drive his car, it's like well you're driving me around
Yeah.
to where
You
I
work
want
for
to
me
go.
now.
Correct.
So drive.
Versus when Twink drives when Twink lets him drive his Hulk mobile.
When Twink lets him drive him.
lets him drive.
Yes, let's drive the car.
Yeah. I think that's more of establishing the fact that
We're friends now.
not even so much that, but that Sean has the power in that one. Because he says, I'm driving, and Twink just is.
Oh, does he say that?
He's like, oh, I'm driving, and then just immediately he's doing it. So Twink's clearly the submissive.
If they weren't driving in the movie, I zoned out.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I figured it was just anybody that let him into their life. They're like, hey, I'll let you into my car and you drive. Where then as when she doesn't let him get close enough, she just still drives her own.
There is also some cinematography going on with that on Han as well. Like most of the time when they're having their conversations, Han is kind of a medium shot. But then when they're watching the soccer game up on the rooftop, and he finally starts like telling him more about himself, that's when we finally get a close up on Han's face. It's like he's finally letting us in. Yeah, weird. My what the fuck is the ball with the ball loop? I think we already established that. That was weird. Do you have a favorite scene?
I told you that one. That's the garage full of all the cars and all the court about. But yeah, all the cars. I misspelled in there.
Okay, I was like, court. There's a court scene? They skipped that entirely because he went to Japan.
I said I only wish stuff like that actually existed, but I can basically tell you that probably does not exist.
I don't know. You ever been to Japan?
No.
Can't rule it out. Can't rule it out.
Car clubs though. Like
That's true. Have I ever told you about the Cobalt Club?
The car vending machine.
I want to know if that's real. That is awesome.
I mean, I would assume so. It's probably just the equivalent of a parking garage.
But it seems so inefficient. Like, you think how... Okay, so it definitely is real, because I just remember there's an episode of Grand Tour where they go to that place. But the one they have, that like wheel that rotates, there's so much wasted empty space. Like, they can have maybe 5 or 6 cars on that wheel, versus if they just had the regular floor there, they could easily get like 4 there, another level with 4 there. It's so strange.
It's just the executive car parking lot, maybe.
I think it's just they wanted Japan to look cool, because Japan's fucking cool. Yeah. What's your favorite scene?
I forgot. I don't remember.
What's your favorite
My
scene?
favorite scene was the chase of Han. And they're going through, and they drift through the group of people on the
Your
walk.
favorite scene is the scene before he dies?
Well, it's that whole piece of him dying also, but then also when they're doing the ride back, because it's the only part in the movie where I believe Sean's acting and Neela's acting. She's not bad, but he's awful. But they're just kind of like in shock, and I thought this time that it almost makes... It almost would leave a false sense of friendship with Sean because he's known Han for at best 2 weeks, we'll say. And so in his mind, Han has been like the perfect friend. Plucked him out of nowhere, gave him money, gave him a car, gave him a place to stay, gave him a home to be. Then he dies. So he never once had like a weird like argument or like was like, maybe this guy's kind of a dick. It's like he fell in love with someone and then they just died. And then he's like, he'll never find anyone else that lives up to that because he never experienced them being shitty. Like Kurt Cobain died before they put out a bad album.
So Tokyo Drift is a love story?
I think so. I think it's a very layered piece of cinema. Do you remember yours?
Yeah, I do. On the point of her being better actress, yeah, but just her look is very distracting.
Yeah, she's
like everyone else is Asian, and then Cambodian.
She's
Peru,
Venezuelan and Argentinian.
Very strong jawline.
And her character is from Australia.
Was the character from Australia?
Yeah, she talks about it when they're in when she tells them how she hates the word gaijin.
Okay.
She eventually says, "My mom was from Australia and she died when I was 10 or whatever." And that's why she's got that kind of weird accent too.
Yeah.
Strange.
She stands out way too much, given she is the main female lead. So that makes sense why. But she has a much stronger jawline than Sean.
Yes,
he has
she
to
does.
cover it up with his.
She's got the hero jaw in that relationship.
Yeah.
And he's got the old man forehead. He's got the 5 head going on.
I love
What'd you
it.
say, Sid from Toy Story?
From Toy Story. From the side.
No, my favorite is when he crashes into every single wall while drifting. Just
And then he stops there for a good 25 seconds. He's like, okay, now go. Now there's another wall.
That's how I drive in drifting games. I just hit everything and keep going.
So you were talking about that, and it did make me think, because I used to think the same thing when I was younger, but then I started like thinking back to when I was trying to learn how to drift in games, like actually drift. It's kind of what just happens. I just spin out of control a lot and I hit things. So it's like, maybe this movie does know what they're doing.
I was bitching about it. I was complaining about it when I'm like, he's a car guy. He would at least know how to make a corner. Maybe he doesn't know how to the fine details of it. And then you're saying like, well, he's a muscle car guy.
Yeah,
He's straight line, speed, power, grand tour, power. But he's Jeremy Clarkson.
He really is. Good call.
Come on, you idiot.
Great show.
But now I'm thinking like, he built that car that he had in the beginning by hand.
Yeah, he was working on it. Yeah.
Like he made all the tweaks, all the
Yep.
whatnot. You think he had more respect for cars?
That,
That's Han's car, built it by hand from the ground up. Like, that's someone's baby. You know this.
That's
and you're just
smash it.
very first corner, bam.
That's a very good point. Yeah, that would be something that is out of character with him.
I get why they did.
His first turn makes sense still in that respect because he's like looking over to see where DK's at, and then it's like, oh shit, I got to turn. But after that, it
Which is the same thing DK does when he first messes up. At the final race, he looks back.
They knew
then,
what they were doing. They knew what they were
And
doing.
it's a circle. It comes around. It's poetry. It rhymes.
It's poetry in motion of 120 miles an hour.
I'm George Lucas. Look at me. I can direct a movie. Star Wars.
Nope, not gonna say it.
slavers.
Not gonna say it. Nope. But that's a good point. I never thought about that before. He should have much more respect for it. Now I don't like this movie anymore. Ruined it
This
for
is
me.
why your movie's bad.
Who's your MVP?
Han. I just love his character because he's so fucking nonchalant about everything. I'm just like, he's so chill. It's awesome.
And you know what? He's improving his life. He stopped smoking.
And just consumed all
much.
sorts of snacks.
There is a
Cheese cubes and
there's a shitty Netflix parody of the Fast and Furious movies, and there's a character in there that's his thing. He's like eating like stuff the entire time, but it's like spaghetti and shit. Like, I refuse to watch it, even though I've been highly recommended by the person that I work with, but I can't. MVP?
Family. The new Han. I got the car from him.
Dominic Toretto.
I
This
didn't
car is
know
not
he
very
was
good
in.
for drifting, but let's
Yeah.
drift.
I know he was into American Muscle.
I want to see Forrest Gump in the next Fast and Furious movie, please.
Actually, yeah. Put Tom Cruise in it. Or, damn, Tom Hanks. And Tom Cruise. Why not?
Why
Wrong
not? Both of them.
Tom.
And Tom Hardy, we get him in there.
Trifecta.
He would have to play a car, though.
Tom Skarsgård.
Is there a Tom Skarsgård?
Play
You adapted to the muscle. I was born in
He's just running around with Vin Diesel on his back. He's making the noises himself behind the mask. Make it happen, Universal. Make it happen. I know you're watching. You're viewer number 5, probably.
Isn't there a Tom Skarsgård? Or am I making that up?
I know Alexander.
I don't know.
I know Tom Sizemore. That's
Who's
Tom Billingsley.
I know Tom Riddle.
Anyways, my MVP was Han. And that's all I got. I think we've established why at this point. That means you're next.
Tom Hiddleston. That's what I was thinking of.
Ooh, that's maybe what I'm thinking of. Yeah, Tom Hiddleston.
Loki. Could also be a car. I would just kind of like to see a movie where they all play the car.
At the very end, he
You
transforms.
just want to watch Cars?
Oh,
Just
yeah,
with a
you're
better
right.
cast.
You're right.
And not about NASCAR.
Wow.
I want them to go back to just racing again.
Yeah,
They're
no,
not.
I
Like
agree.
they can still have like the gang warfare and all that, but like stop being a game of what can we drive a car out of and off of. Go back to like racing. It's
How
no
do
longer
we
even
hack
about
the
car.
internet with our cars?
You got to shift and sequence properly, or else they'll firewall you.
Here's a supercar computer chip that can only operate while you're driving at max speed.
It's also become a lot less about the cars. Like in every movie they all drive like 7 different cars, so
Yeah.
it's like you don't have the iconic car from it.
And then
like,
they're just becoming combat vehicles at that
Right,
point,
yeah,
not
like
racing cars.
tanks and like every movie up to at least I guess up until about Tokyo Drift all had at least one iconic car from it. So you had like the Evo, you've got the green with the that's also a Lancer, isn't it?
I think so.
Might be an Eclipse actually. But anyways, bring it back.
Skyline was a
Skyline's the second one.
That was a big car like back then when it came
Yep.
out. I remember it was having a hard on for Skylines.
That was before you could get them in proper driver's side.
I remember getting me an Underground.
Yeah.
Need for Speed. I was like,
Yep. Supra, that orange Supra in the first one. Classic.
you hit the NOS too early.
Classic. Well, that's the Jetta.
the super guy. Oh,
That's
that
the
was
Jetta.
That's
That's
right.
Jesse who dies.
That was in the first movie.
Yep.
Yeah. Too slow. That was also an Asian bad guy.
It was. When
Oh,
I was
should
younger,
we-
for a split second, I thought it was the
Did we
same
talk
guy.
about how the villain has like a flat face?
We mentioned it,
It's
but we
like
didn't get
just
deep in it.
completely dropped, just flat.
Yeah.
Like no slope, no angle, just
It oddly makes it more menacing.
makes it weird.
Well, maybe that's
Unsettling.
It's
Yeah.
that uncanny valley, but
I mean, it's just the actor, but
He also has a weird haircut. Like the middle spikes up and the sides kind of spike down. It's odd.
he's the villain.
they do it.
Oh, I thought Sean was the bad guy. I thought he was the foreign invader.
I'm a colonizer.
Wrestling has taught me if you are not from the country that they're in, you're the bad guy.
Like
Rusev.
I was gonna say, I was just talking about Rusev at work last night. Crush.
He's a good guy now.
Oh,
Anyways,
really?
Going on a
that's
tank.
been Dudes Watch a Movie podcast, episode 38, Tokyo Drift. I don't think we're tying movies together anymore because we're lazy and we
It's
have.
becoming a shit show anymore, trying to make rules.
And it's also like sometimes
you
we
don't
just want to
follow
watch a
them, you know?
movie, you know, like, and it's like, how are we ever gonna get to the point where we can watch this movie? Let's just fucking watch the movie we want to watch.
What's gonna happen when we do all the movies?
Well, I think we'll be nuked by then, so shouldn't be a problem.
America,
We're doomed.
Family.
freedom, liberty. Death is a preferable alternative to communism.
How far does it go? I was just seeing how far that was gonna go.
Oh, just other words.
I was waiting for eventually you have to get to the point of American racism, right?
Whitewashing.
Was it gonna turn into Jabba the Hutt?
We'll just.
Boy.
I didn't want to say it, but
I was
couldn't
actually
let
trying to
go.
go for like the classic anime Japanese bad guy statement.
Oh, my voice 4 weeks on anime.
Kind of. I forgot about that. But no, but then I went into Jabba the Hutt. And you're like, Jabba the Hutt. I'm like, oh.
It was. I'm not my proudest moment, but also kind of like the
It was-
fun. Anyways, we'll catch you on the first. Yeah, this is coming out on the 13th.
39, which we don't know what we'll watch. We'll figure it out when we get there. Whose turn is it to pick them?
Well, it's one of you's two's because I picked this one.
I picked Christmas Story.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I mean,
technically
it's
it'd be
either
you,
you.
right?
Because I was going to do Immortal, but then I pulled out. I was too scared.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But
Pull that game strong.
no, but seriously, I mean, you're part of the you're part of the trifecta now. You have to have an intro.
Come on, Dad.
I'm gonna.
Don't give me too much responsibility.
He's just gonna be like, all right, well, I'm gonna go grab some milk before we start.
I'm gonna go get a pack of cigarettes. I'll be right back, guys.
Never sees him again.
But for real, catch you on the flip side. The flippity flip, the flippity flop.
How do I? There we go. Am I pointing at the camera? Oh, pow, 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 pow. Driving the car and pump, granny shifting. Yeah.